Good morning, Scott here. Hope you're well. Hope you had a great weekend. Ready for another day in front of the charts, or a week in front of the charts. Okay, good. So there's a few things setting up today, a few things of interest. We'll go through those in a moment. Also be aware of the news. There's quite a lot of potentially high impact news this week with inflation figures and interest rate hikes and that kind of thing still going on. So keep an eye out for those in your forexfactory.com calendar. Okay, let's go through some charts. I'll show you what I'm seeing. Hopefully you've been through your charts already and oops, wrong button. And you agree with what I see? If not, post them in the Slack channel if you're a member of Pro Trader. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get started. You better see my screen now. I'll stop my video. And right, let's go. Euro Aussie. There's some nice action from the Aussie towards the end of last week. Some real strength. It's always good to have currencies having some strength or weakness across the board to give us some good opportunities. So Euro Aussie rejecting a strong trend line, a very bearish day on Friday, continuous bear trend the last few days, and room down to the daily 50. So let's see what the hourly chart gives us. Okay, on the hourly chart we have, let's zoom into the hourly. Right, so we have a break below the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be wave 5 already, which is not ideal. An eddy wave, start from here, wave 1, wave 2 pullback, wave 3, wave 4 pullback, and a wave 5. Not ideal because that means we're playing wave 6 and wave 7. Unless you count this as a consolidation. Yeah, don't know. But the 4 hour 50 is broken cleanly. We've got down to the daily 20. It's all going off. And we're looking for a pullback to the 4 hour 50 and the 1 hour 50 around the 382 from this run here, which lines up very well. Entry there, stop here. Also, you can also play this as a pip snatcher if you wanted to. That's if your rules allow you to play through the daily 20 of the pip snatcher. I don't think there's anything to stop you doing that. And you can play it down to the daily 50. So there's a good 2+% on offer there. That's a nice looking setup. That can happen anytime in the next 4 or 5 hours or so. Let's look at Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss can be a funny one. What does it give us today? Well, we've got, it's kind of in a sideways thing. We had a big bearish day on Friday. We'll see if that continues down to the daily 50. On the hourly chart, we've had lots of gapping in the markets on the open after the weekend, which hasn't made it too bad, but just hopefully it's not going to mess up our setups. Okay, so Euro Swiss, we've got a breakthrough the hourly 50 and putting it back to the hourly 50 and with the 4 hour 50 behind us. So break through the 4 hour 50 and a pullback. So this gapping has made a bit of an unusual looking chart, but if it closes that gap, pulls back to the 382. Euro Swiss another 8 hours plus for that to set up. Not likely to set up in the Asia session. So that pulls back to here, gives the time for the 1 hour 50 to catch up. The 4 hour 50 will be about where the 0.5 is on the fib. Fib I've done from the highs to the lows. You take the fib from anywhere down here, then that could be the case. It doesn't pull back very far, but I think the best looking one is there. I think that's the most likely fib placement. So that's one to keep an eye on for later. Euro Kiwi. Right, so we've got a nice downtrend, rejection of this SR line, and also bearish action on Friday. We are hovering around the lows It doesn't seem to be a strong line. Maybe the level is just down here somewhere. We're looking at these lows here. So there's possibly some more room to the downside. RSI, not too oversold. Room there. MACD, well, it's still moving down, so MACD looks okay. So looking for a bit more bearish action happening. And I think the best thing here is just a pip snatcher. So pip snatcher, pivots line up. Well, that's a good guess on one. So I guessed that yesterday. Pivots line up very well. And it could be a nice little 1-to-1. Yeah, that could play out nicely. So that's a nice one as well. The euro and the euro dollar, not the euro pair. Stalling at this level again, and bearish, slightly bearish action on Friday. So is that confirmed with our 1 hour chart? Let's have a look. We've got sideways up. So we're going to MACD. That's the only thing that will really give us indication. There's no real MACD divergence. So it's looking like the strength is still, momentum is still there, although it's now dropped into the negative territory. But should it get some strength now, it could well go for another high. So we've either got, we can't do the pip snatcher because the what's this? The R1 is too close, so we can't play a pip snatcher long. But should it break down, it could well be on for an IBO short. So we see how that one plays out. Basically, it has to pull down here, probably touch the 4-hour 50, pull back. And then we can play that short. See how that one plays out. I'm not too keen on Euro USD. It never seems to line up very well. Very rarely does it line up very well for setups, but worth keeping an eye on. Let's go to pound Aussie. So another Aussie pair. Ignore today's candle because it's of course just opened. So we've got some rejection of this trend line and some bearish action since then. Room to the daily 20 and daily 50. It's just broken through the 4-hour 50, and it's now pulling back right as we speak. So that's not really good. We can't really have another IBO. We've already had the IBO here. We really need to break down below the 4-hour 50. So we'll hopefully it'll just pull down here, down to here somewhere, pull back to the 4-hour 50, where the 1-hour 50 catches up, and then give us a CBO short. So see if that turns into a CBO. Not looking great with the early action so far today. And Kiwi, not too dissimilar probably. We've got bearish action. It's rejecting the daily 50 up here and the daily 20 here. Breaking through this support resistance level. And now there's not much to stop us going short. RSI is good. MACD looks okay. So that's okay. That's what the hourly chart gives us. So we've got downward bias. Now we've got a big breakdown on Friday, which is nice. So if we get a pullback, we could have an ACBB. Could we have an ACBB? We've already had an ACB here, ACBB here, and then we've got plenty of them. So maybe ACBB is not the right one. Maybe we should be looking for a pip snatcher short on this one. And just go a quick 1-to-1, or you could even, there's plenty of room to the downside. You might even want to play that to be a 4-to-1 hyper trade. Either way, see how that sets up. And that could be one for later on, pip snatcher short. Okay, keep again. Lots of bullish action up to this level. We're tackling the highs here on this recent high. So we are level with it. There's no deceleration yet. Is it going to reject it? We'll see. What's the MACD telling us? Not that clear. Oh, yeah, MACD is dropping off very well. So it's MACD divergence, implying we get some some lower prices coming up. Let's have a look at the hourly chart, see if that confirms that. Well, we have the MACD seems to be okay. We've had lower highs here as it kind of reset itself, and since then it's been going up, and also reset itself here, and a big jump up on Friday. So still like there's some bullish momentum for the short term, although longer term it's looking like it's losing momentum, which lines up with what we're seeing on the daily. I've got positive momentum, but without support resistance line just above us, probably not much more to the upside before we get some kind of pullback. But here there's room for a pitch snatcher. So get a pullback to the pivot, the 1 hour 50 catch up, could be a quick one-to-one pitch snatcher later today. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, downward bias, breaking down. Look at the weekly, we can see it rejected the weekly 50 and been going down ever since then. Monthly, it's broken through the monthly 50 and heading down. So the bias is definitely to the downside. Are we oversold? No, not that oversold. Seems to be some kind of MACD is not very happy on the daily. Looks like it's losing momentum, so it needs to get some strength from somewhere. The level, this is a very strong level, which we've just broken below. Maybe we'll get a quick retest of that and some more bearish action. So what the hourly chart's giving us. Hourly MACD looks good to the downside. And what we have here is from the 4 hour 50, a clean break of the 1 hour 50 and a pullback. That's, yeah, it's a retest, but don't really include that one because that was a quick, probably a news event. I was guarantee you that was some kind of news. Dollar news, no doubt. Let's see what time. Middle of the US session, so probably dollar news. Okay, so pull back to the 1 hour 50. We did gap down, we are closing that gap. After we pull back to where the 382 is, dollar Swiss might be setting up for another 8 hours, so 8 hours to mess around here. Come back, 1 hour 50 is going to be about right. ACB B short, so treat like an IBO. Just the 4 hour 50 is now behind us. And profit target, why did I choose that? I don't know. Is there anything really obvious as a profit target? Only these lows down here, fair way below, all these lows here. So yes, profit target is not an easy one. Maybe you could do from here, just a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, maybe. Hard to pick this one. Let's do a full extension from this as a wave 3. Presume we pull back to about here somewhere. 0.618. Say profit target 1.3%, or you can push it further if you find that's a wave 3. Not very clear, but looking like a good opportunity. Okay, 3 more that may set up later today or perhaps tomorrow. Swiss yen. Right, pull back to the daily 50. Great deceleration on Friday with a nice doji candle. Looking for it to go short. And this lines up with a few yen pairs, although there aren't necessarily good setups for a trade. It's showing that the yen could be gaining some strength, and therefore all our yen pairs will be looking to go short. Right, so what do we have on the Swiss yen on the hourly? We have, looks like some kind of deceleration wedge pattern happening. We can't treat that as an ACB because the 4 hour 50 is well and truly breached, but it's a similar concept. This time now it's against the daily 50. Daily 50 been rejected, decelerating nicely, so break below the 1 hour 50 and this trend line, and pull back to the 1 hour 50 and even the 4 hour 50. So that could be a nice little CBO short. That's a CBO short that could play out much later today or even perhaps tomorrow. There's your CAD have for us. Oh, great deceleration there and a strong level. So we have, this is the one we looked at before as a possible swing trade, which you might be okay, or you may, yeah, you'll probably be okay unless you're really tight on the stop as a swing reversal. And that's even still on. You can still take that as a swing reversal just above, stop just above these highs, and entry even tighter. So swing reversal potential, definitely some kind of short lining up, we hope. Triple top, strong level. We've even got some kind of AVO thing going on here, although it's a bit shallow. It's a bit too shallow. The 1 hour 50 is now way inside. So this is really just a trend line that's going to get in the way on the, when we break the 1 hour 50. We just have to trade through it. So you've got to be aware of that. So we have a break of the 1 hour 50. We're going to go down that far, but here somewhere, and the break of the trend line. Pull back to the trend line in the 1 hour 50. That could be a nice little IBO short later today, or maybe tomorrow. See how that one plays out. Maybe later today. And the last one we look at is pound dollar. Pull up to this strong support resistance level again. It's trying again to get through. How's the MACD looking? MACD's looking nothing obvious. RSI looking overbought, but not overbought yet. So looking for some kind of reversal here, even at least for the short term. And therefore we get a break of the 1 hour 50, pull down to probably hit the 4 hour 50, reverse back to the 1 hour 50, IBOC short, play it down to the daily 20 or the daily 50. So that could be a nice looking trade as well for later today. So there's a few things there to keep an eye on. Again, watch out for the news. There's a lot of potentially market moving news later on in the week. So good luck with that. I wish you all the best. If you're not a member of ProTrader, scottprotrader.com. You can sign up for some free training, learn the swing strategy, and learn how you can change your life by learning these skills, basically. Okay, I wish you all the best. I'll catch you tomorrow. See you.